you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to The Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again back to The Songwriter Show on Reality Radio 101. I'm your host, Sarantos, a solo music artist and songwriter who's always believed in the power of words. They captivate me. And here on The Songwriter Show, I love bringing you behind the scenes with some of today's most inspiring songwriters, giving you a little glimpse into the stories that shape their songs. Tonight, I'm so happy to have on the show Joseph Schertz. He teaches songwriting at the School of Music and Mayhem in Stillwater, Minnesota. One of his students, Delilah, and him were writing a song called Weird Heart when she died by suicide. She was just 12 years old. So now we're going to talk to Joseph.
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
How you doing tonight, Joseph?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. So this is an interesting story. Why don't you tell the fans and the listeners a little bit about the story?
Yeah, so Miss Delilah and I were writing this song called Weird Heart. We were dabbling with it for about a year and a half. We'd start it and churn it out a little bit, and then we'd set it aside and work on other projects. And we would always come back every 3 or 4 months and revisit Weird Heart. She was a young, beautiful person, but she was struggling. She was getting picked on in school and having a hard time. And she was here on a Friday night, and we were rocking out, happened to be rocking out on a different song. But Saturday morning she was gone, and it was a heartbreaker. When I was asked to play at her Celebration of Life event, I went ahead and said, you know what, I'll do it, but I want to songwrite in front of everybody and show everybody what Delilah and I would do every day. And so we had people write down thoughts and feelings and emotions about Delilah on these poster boards. And then I just right in front of about 400 people just wrote 4 or 5 songs based upon those thoughts and feelings that were on those poster boards. About 2 weeks before the event, I got another phone call and they said, oh my gosh, we got the plan for the event figured out, but we need another song. And I said, well, what song do you need? And they said, well, anything would do. It would be great. And I'm like, well, you know what? Not anything would do, because if I did Amazing Grace or Hallelujah or something, I mean, anybody in the world could do that, but only one person in the world can finish Weird Heart. And so I went back and I dug deep and I found some of her old workings on it. And so I just set to work to finish something that she and I had started a year and a half earlier.
That's fascinating, yeah. So tell us a little bit about your songwriting process, or maybe the collaboration, about how you guys work together on songs.
Yeah, so, it's kind of funny. I believe in this idea of it's okay to be messy and it's okay to write a lot of really bad songs. So I will have students that really want to be songwriters, but are just frozen and can't get anything going. And I'll say, okay, let's just on purpose write the worst possible song we can. And so it's really freeing when you think about, I'm just going to write a complete rubbish song. And so what happens is you break the ice a little bit. And then after writing 100 of those really bad ones, they start to get a little bit better. And so we are often in the middle of making more noise than we are art, more music, I should say.
Yeah.
And so sometimes out of that, we're gaining experience because we find out a lot of things about what doesn't work. But a lot of times we just bump into something that does work. And so then we're off to the game, the percentages game, where maybe 1 out of every 10 songs has a good idea in it, but then 1 out of 100 has a great idea in it. So I often think about pro baseball players. They make the Hall of Fame if they're batting 300, which means 7 out of 10 times they're failing and 3 out of 10 times they're getting on base. Well, shucks, man, if we had those odds, we'd be doing great, because if we could write a great song 3 out of 10 times, we'd be doing pretty all right.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a great way to think about it. What else can you tell us about what your hope is for this song? What do you hope happens to it?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've written thousands of songs in my life, but for some reason I recognize this one as being important. Not that the other songs aren't important, but you have, I guess all my stories would have a story to them, but that would be a story to the song, maybe a fictional story about something that you percolate up and dream up and create. But this one has a 100% real to life backstory about this young teen preteen, really, a tween, that knew inside she had some weird emotions going on and didn't really know how to express it, but knew it was funny feeling and different. And through workshopping it, we came up with the idea of Weird Heart. She had known, or I should say, she had tried to dabble with the like cold and mean heart and all that. And I kept saying, well, those are cliche. We've done those before. Let's think of a new way to express that. And so we came up with Weird Heart. And yeah, my gut instinct tells me, man, there's something really important about this story that maybe if we get it out there, we can save someone's life.
That is the hope, right?
Yeah.
So are there any famous musicians you or she admired?
She was a huge fan of Nirvana. And so this is an interesting one because in that idea of like, oh, you can play any song you want at her funeral, I'm like, no, I can't. Kurt Cobain did the same thing and it was bad.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to bring that into the issue. But she was a huge fan of Nirvana, and Nirvana, Kurt Cobain in particular, was so melodic. He just could write a melody. It was always amazing. So yeah, big fans of that process of like, let it be weird, let it be messy until it's great, and just keep carving at it.
All right, I'll tell you what. I think we should take a listen to this song, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. All right, everybody, check this out. Here we go.
I got a weird heart, feels so cold, icky, icky, awful. Got a weird, cold, mean to me heart. Wish I had a valve that could turn off my empathy, 'cause I always let it get the best of me. And the doubts, they're always creeping in. Why do I treat myself like this? I got a weird heart, so cold, cold, icky, icky, awful. Got a weird, cold, mean to me heart. There are calluses wrapped around my soul. All my warmth under a blanket of cold, cold, cold. And the doubts, they come screaming in. Why do I treat myself like this? Got a weird, cold, mean to me heart.
I was just dreaming. It was so nice.
I question my heart. Do you have to hurt me so? Why, love, are you so hard to hold? I question my skin, so uncomfortable. I don't know how to feel anymore. I got myself a weird heart, so cold, cold, icky, icky, awful. Weird, cold, mean to me heart. Got a weird heart. Got a weird, cold heart. Got a weird, mean to me heart. Got a weird heart.
All my life, I was just dreaming. Every day, it was so nice. It was so nice.
Thank you so much for sharing that song with the audience tonight.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you for sharing it.
You're very welcome. The one question that came to me is, have you had any influential teachers?
I on one of my earlier albums called Mired Musings, I have a song called Don't Break My Records. And it talks about the idea that you can break my heart, you can smash my car, you can break my guitar, but baby, don't you break my records, because they're my best friends. And if I think about my musical teachers, it was every album that I dropped a needle down and listened to, and every song that I learned, how did the pros do it? What did they do right? What did they do wrong? Where does my gut instinct tell me to go? And so, boy, I just love digging deep into what everyone else is doing, from the Beatles to the Stones to what they're doing nowadays.
Do you have any advice you'd give beginners that are just starting to get into this? And whether they're teenagers, whether they're undergrads, young adults, whatever it is, what advice would you give them?
I dare you to suck, which means Write, fail, and repeat. Get out there and do it again and again and again until you figure out what your version of art is. I never use music theory until after the fact, so I think of it as a post-analysis piece. Don't write a song according to what you think the rules are. Just get in there and get messy. Splatter paint against the wall and find out what kind of art you've got going on and see what happens.
Yeah, that's good advice, man.
Thank you.
When you write a song, do you typically do lyrics first, music first, melody? Like, how do you do it?
All of the above. They all come from somewhere else. It's really interesting. I mean, you definitely can feel it when you're in the moment of writing a melody, and then you're like, oh, whoa, now I've painted a corner. Now I've got to find the right words to fit that. And then you can definitely feel it when you've written down lyrics. And for me, it's usually I spend a lot of time just thinking and writing down a prompt line. So I might write down 4 or 5 words, and then a week later I might see those 4 or 5 words in my notes app and go, oh yeah, cool. And then I'll start working on that. But then you're still workshopping. How's that melody going to go? How's the vibe going to go? And one kind of, I guess, rule I would put in place around here is don't think about genre. Don't force the song to become anything it doesn't want to be. It will sort of steer the ship. So if there's me and, say, 2 other students in the room working on something, I'll always tell them, well, there's 4 of us, the 3 of us humans plus the song, and we have to listen to the song and find out what it tells us to do and just chase it and let it go. And so if we think that it's going in a certain direction that maybe they're like, well, we don't do country or whatever, I'm saying just let it go. Let's find out where the song steers us. And even if it doesn't end up being a song for you or your style, you wrote the best song you could because it went where it needed to go.
No, I totally get that. It almost sounds like you're a teacher sometimes. You know, when I listen to you talk, it almost sounds like you actually know what you're talking about.
You know, I think I know how to fail more than anybody. That's for sure.
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm pretty good at failing, so I'd have to challenge you on that one.
Oh man,
See which one of us is a bigger failure.
it's a race to the bottom for sure.
Yeah. If you could put together a dream team of musicians to form like the biggest supergroup, who'd you pick?
Oh man, that's a great question. I'm assuming we're talking about people still living.
Yes.
Paul McCartney's got to be on there for sure. And it's pretty hard to deny Taylor Swift right now because she's not only outsold the Beatles, but holy cow, look at her string of hits. It's unbelievable. My son always picks on me. He says I listen to music like a 14-year-old girl. And what that means is I'm just listening to melodies and finding out what's going on. And so I got to have Olivia Rodrigo on that list too. She's amazing. Boy, you go to the classics and you get into what was U2 doing that was different? What is Pearl Jam doing that was different? There's just so many artists out there that, it's funny too, because in the studio here, I have just hundreds of posters on the wall of just different artists. And students ask me all the time, like, why those posters? What do they have in common? And I always tell people they kind of have 2 things in common, and it has nothing to do with talent. One is they found a way to sound like themselves, just something unique about what they did that just was standing out at the time frame. So we don't have duplicate sounding bands on the wall. And the other is sheer determination, because I've never met a pro that was naturally talented. I've always met pros that are just sheerly determined to do this beyond when everyone else gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Petty would be another one I'd put on that list. Oh, but he's not here. Sorry.
Yeah, I have to say, everyone you've picked is definitely spot on. I mean, you haven't named anybody that big. No, why would they be on that list?
Right.
What's your favorite jam of all time? 80s, 90s, modern. If you could pick one song, someone had you up against the wall, what would it be?
Well, right now I'm really into the song Pretty Isn't Pretty Enough, Olivia Rodrigo's new song. There's so much emotion in there that every teenager's gone through, and really not just girls, but boys too. Every boy's lifting weights like crazy to look in the mirror kind of thing. And so in the current moment, it would be that. But what's so funny about when I have either an adult student or a student that says, he's into AC/DC or something, I'll go, oh, that's because your dad's into that. And that would make sense. But if I have an adult student who says, man, my favorite bands are XYZ, and I'll go, oh, that's right around when you started having kids. And they're like, how did you know? And that's because that's when they stopped listening to music and they started listening to Barney and their kids' music.
Yeah.
And so I don't have that experience because I've been teaching all my way through my young adult life into my middle ages here, where I've just been always in touch with the younger crowd. Every time there's a new generation, they're telling me what their favorite songs are, and I'm learning them and teaching them. Even if I don't know the songs, I'll just learn them by ear and show them, here's how it's going. And so I've never had that moment where I didn't have the generational piece, if that makes sense. So it's hard for me to say, oh, the 80s are my thing or the 90s are my thing. It's like everything is my thing. It's just songwriting.
Yeah, I totally get that. What's the coolest road trip or gig trip you've ever been on?
I was lucky enough to play at CBGB's before it closed. So that was cool.
Tell us about your socials, your website where people can buy this song, stream it, or anything.
Yeah, it's one of the coolest things in the world was Delilah's mom had said to me, oh my God, this is after she died, and once the song came out, she says, oh my gosh, my daughter now finally gets to do what she's always dreamed of doing. And that's because her voice is out in 250 countries around the world now. So we live in a very different world where with just a couple clicks away, if you put up a great song, it can be heard all around the world. And so, yeah, Apple and Spotify and YouTube Music, it's out there. All we got to do is type in the words Weird Heart and it'll come up.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, I want to thank you for being on the show tonight. It was a blast.
Thank you so much.
I hope the song does well. Yeah, I think it sounds like you're a great teacher. So.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And to all the fans out there, thank you for spending a little bit of that precious time that everybody wants a piece of. Thank you for sharing a little bit with us. We appreciate it, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of the Songwriter Show tonight. I hope you'll join me every single Tuesday on Reality Radio 101 to listen to us, share this podcast, and all these inspiring journeys behind the music. Let's keep creating and connecting. Let's let all of our stories be heard. I love you all. Have a great night.
Blind side. We got Facebook and all the opinions on what way to ride. So many said they changed the world. God knows if they've tried. Too many things to question those that deny. What's the truth and what is a lie? Why we can't change the world? Why ask why we never get the girl? Why ask why when we still try? Oh, why ask why? Why ask why? Tranquility. Where there's trouble in the Middle East, they say it's what we are fed. But is it really that way? But I'll tell you, the one thing I've learned in my life, sometimes you just never ever know why. Expect to go on a ride. All this crap happens and you get hit girl. Why ask why when we still try? Oh, why ask why? Why ask why? Is it the truth or is it a lie? Why ask why? 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 Is it the truth or just a damn lie?
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.